I search my mind, eager to change the subject. Yes, please, let's change the subject. You gotta chill out a little bit. Just hold your horses. You gotta chill out a little bit. Don't look at me like that. You really gotta chill. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Asagao Academy. In the last episode, Hana successfully introduced herself in front of her homeroom classmates. So that I count to be a great success. However, for some reason or another, PBG in particular was scowling at her or frowning at her, and we don't really know why. And here, for some reason or another, Mai thinks that that means that he's interested in Hana. But let's continue on with the story and see how things progress on Hana's first day of school. So now that you're good in good with PBG, can you introduce me to Jared? Oh, was that what she was getting at? A hot flash of doubt seized me. Was it possible that Mai only liked me because she thought I knew the normal Boots guys? That couldn't be the case though. She was so nice. Still, looking at her shining and eager face, I couldn't talk myself out of the idea. I actually thought PBG didn't like me.
What?
What? Why would you think that?
Well...
He was glaring at me. Man, you just don't understand. It's a love triangle. A love triangle. Wait, a triangle now? I can see it. Stars practically erupted from her eyes. PBG, I can't. But Hana, I love you. But
PBG.
my maidenhood. Where are you going with this? I slammed my fork onto the table. Mai looked pleased with herself. Okay, I'm just kidding. You're really cute when you blush. You almost match your hair. That's not fair at all. I beg to differ. Still, I search my mind, eager to change the subject. Yes, please, let's change the subject. You gotta chill out a little bit. Just hold your horses. You gotta chill out a little bit. Don't look at me like that. You really gotta chill. That was an impressive scenario.
What?
What? No, it wasn't. I just made it up on the spot. Mai laughed nervously. Oh, so that girl who was talking to me when we got separated. Mai told the story of her past friendship with this girl like they were eternal arch nemesis. Apparently, they had some bad blood. Yeah, I could see that. We all could see that. I nodded, choosing to take the time to relax. Before I knew it, we were finished eating. We got up and tossed our trays together. As I headed towards the door, though, Mai hesitated. Hey, I forgot something back at the dorm. Oh, need help? No, I'm totally okay. I'm just going to go get it. I'll see you later though, right?
See you later.
Okay, see you in class. I waved, and Mai sprinted off in the direction of the dorms. Alone again, I crossed my arms and headed back to Poppy Hall. Man, I've been saying this a lot, but I'm on summer vacation right now. But hearing these descriptions of these Poppy Halls, these residence halls, these cafeterias, and these classrooms, it's kind of like, wow, I can't believe I'm already home. I can't believe I'm back home and no longer on campus. Large groups of 7 or 8 people were laying out in the sun, playing catch and eating lunch on the lawn. It looked like fun to have so many friends like that. I smiled. Maybe this new school really would be better than my last. Don't say maybe. It will be better than your last, Hana. Think confidently. Without students inside of it, Poppy Hall looked a bit like an abandoned hospital. My footsteps echoed as I climbed the stairs to the 4th floor. With a sigh, I opened up my locker and pulled out the book Satch gave me. It was a good thing I brought it after all. So she did end up reading Satch's book. So I kind of wonder what would have happened if we chose no. If there was another scene that would have been triggered if we chose not to bring the book. Maybe she would have had some conversation with another normal Boots dude, I don't know. I stepped into the classroom and saw a flash of movement by the window. A boy sat on the windowsill, and he jerked up when I came in. Oh, here's Mystery Man, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to introduce you guys to Mystery Man. He was silhouetted by the afternoon sunshine, so I couldn't quite tell who he was. Hello, I'm sorry, did I bother you? The boy stood and shook his head, then crossed to a desk to the opposite side of the room. As he passed, I was able to see him clearly. Another Normal Boots jacket? This guy, he was Shane from the Normal Boots Club. How on earth did this keep happening to me? It's almost like I'm the protagonist of a visual novel, which is very similar to an anime. It's almost like that, it seems. Shane sat down at his desk, fidgeted with his hands a little, then turned to look at me. You're the new girl? I nodded. My name is Hana. It's nice to meet you. He nodded. Shane. Silence filled the space between us. Panic built up inside of me. This was my chance to get in with the Normal Boots Club, and I was blowing it. I walked to my desk and sat down, setting the book on top of it. You... Shane looked at me, unsmiling. What an intimidating aura he's got about him. You're part of the Normal Boots Club? Yes, I am. Why? He spoke as if it were a challenge, almost glaring at me. Oh, I just saw your jacket, so I trailed off. The jackets are really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. Very standoffish. Silence again. He seemed skeptical, as if he expected me to crawl out of my skin and reveal me to be a large, amphibious reptile. I had to do something. Who knew when another chance like this would come? But Shane didn't seem friendly. In fact, he seemed downright suspicious. Surely he wasn't on to me already. Maybe it was better not to risk it? Try talking to him. Or give him his space. You know, personally, if I ran into anyone, whether it be a guy or a girl, if I ran into someone who was really standoffish and kind of gave off that vibe that I guess they didn't really want to talk at all, personally, being the person that I am, I wouldn't really try to pursue the conversation any further. Kind of just give them their space, because I'm sure that that's what they would prefer. I guess we'd be doing them a favor by giving them their space. But in this case, I think that it would be kind of nice to try to get to know him at least. I mean, Hana is trying to, I guess, get comfortable with the Normal Boots or have them become comfortable towards her. Let's just try talking to him. So you play games then? Shane looked over at me. I've always been interested in video games, but I didn't get the chance to play them growing up. They're really expensive, and my dad couldn't afford them, but I used to go over to my friend's house to play there. Kind of talking a lot about yourself. I mean, I kind of read this article that was saying if you want to meet new people, be sure that you ask them lots of questions and be sure that you behave as if you are truly interested in them. That kind of makes it sound like they were suggesting that you put up an act in making it look like you're interested, but genuinely be interested with people. I'm trailing off again. Shane didn't respond. Now what? I was out of stuff to say. What did you play? Oh, there you go. He's actually trying to carry this conversation further. That's good. Looks like we made the right choice.
What?
What? Oh, Mario Kart. Mario Kart. Okay, so for those of you Smash fans, and I know that a good number of you guys following the channel are Smash fans, that kind of, when I saw that kind of made me think of Nairo. And it's funny because in our Smash Bros profile on the Wii U, we made so many nicknames, and we eventually got to the point where we put like the pro players' nicknames into our, I guess, save file, and Nairo was one of them. And when one of my friends saw Nairo's name in, I guess, the Smash Bros profile, he pronounced it wrong at first. He was like Nario, and we were like, bro, that's not Nario, that's Nairo. So that kind of reminded me of Nairo there. I don't know if Nairo would play a game like a visual novel, but you never know. Anyway, trailing off again. We'd go into battle mode on the triple deck. He would drive around by himself on the top level, and I'd try to booby trap the lowest level. There's a good spot next to the ramp. I'd wait there until my mom came racing down the ramp to find me, then smash her with a red shell. Shane's angry stare faded. He was smiling, sort of. Well, that's good. He made the whole room seem 10 shades brighter. Or maybe I was more relaxed. Your mom must have been mad. She was, but she always let me do it. Probably on purpose. Did your mom... A door slid open. Mimi and her friends, a couple of chattering girls, entered the classroom. They stopped and stared from me to Shane. It was clear that they thought we were interrupting something, even though we were sitting on opposite ends of the room. Sorry. No, it's fine. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't happy they caught me talking to the Shane of the Normal Boots Club. The girls went to their desks and sat down. What were you... Shane was staring at me again, an odd, hurt look on his face. Aww. So, I guess he was able to see that Hana was actually kind of using Shane. I mean, when I was trying to make the decision, when I did say that Hana was trying to get in good with the Normal Boots Club, yeah, that did kind of sound like we were using Shane, and that's kind of bad, but maybe we didn't make the right choice. I mean, using people is never a good thing. Don't use people, ladies and gentlemen. I immediately felt like I was caught doing something I wasn't supposed to. Did he know what I was trying to do? But, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't talk to him. He was an interesting guy. It's not like I only talked to him because he was in the Normal Boots. See? It's not like she was trying to use him, but it's more like, you know those like thoughts that sometimes just creep into your mind. It's not your fault that they creep into your mind. It's just that they do, and they're there. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because an ulterior motive may have crossed your mind that's what you were trying to do. And clearly that's not the case with Hana. She wasn't trying to use Shane. But he turned, pulled out a notebook and some pens and scribbled away, thoroughly ignoring me. The air was stuffy. I tugged at the collar of my shirt, sweating. The girls kept looking at me over their shoulder as if they expected something. I smiled hesitantly at them. High school students! They smiled back, then started a conversation amongst themselves. The atmosphere was broken. I heaved a sigh of relief. What was up with these Normal Boots guys? John was really nice when I spoke to him, but PBG and Shane seemed to hate me. They were anything but normal. I waited for Mai to come to class, wanting desperately to tell her what happened. But when the bell rang and Miss Shizuka started teaching, Mai still hadn't come. How mysterious. Where did Mai go? Why is she ditching class? Class came and went, the bell rang, and I was alone. PBG stared at me for the entirety of the class period, his face growing more and more menacing by the minute. How his face wasn't stuck in a perma-frown, I would never know. Shane and John didn't bother talking to me as they left the classroom, and the other students paired up around me. Hey Mimi, would you like to engage in casual discourse this evening? It's kind of weird. Yeah, of course. But why are you talking like that? Clearly, even Hana is speechless. Seriously, no one talks like that. I stuffed my book into my backpack and headed to the dorm. With a sigh, I unlocked the door to my dorm room. As soon as the door opened, I heard...
Hana! What?
Mai and I lay in a heap on the floor. I'm so glad you're back! She wrapped her arms around my head and nuzzled me. Kinda reminds me of how Pikachu likes to nuzzle people in Pokken Tournament. Pokken Tournament would be a fun series to do. Even though I don't really... I don't think that I'm that great at Pokken Tournament, but it's a fun game nonetheless, and I think that doing some videos on the channel would be pretty fun. That's the third time that I've trailed off in this one episode alone. What are you doing? Come, look! She got off me and helped me to my feet. Without Maya's face filling my vision, I saw that something had changed. Oh my goodness! The dorm room looked nothing like what it had before. The posters and fairy lights were still up, but now the window had light pink curtains on it that cast a warm haze around the room. A brand new white carpet was on the floor. Pillows were piled high in a mountain on the top bunk of the bunk bed. Even our chairs had been replaced with new, cushy, leathery ones. What happened here? Sorry I didn't tell you, but I wanted to surprise you. I thought this would come in yesterday, but it was delayed by a day. I wanted to set it up to be a big surprise. I'm still not done yet, though. She gestured to some small potted plants arranged in a neat row on her desk. Wanna help?
Yeah.
Do I ever? Wow, that... Really? I've said it already. I've said it so many times already, but Mai is such an awesome roommate. which is why personally I feel like people would never run into a roommate like Mai. I mean, really, going out of her way, she even ditched class in order to rearrange the room the way that she has. Personally, I wouldn't do that. I mean, missing the first day of class to do something like this, I mean, it's a very nice gesture, but it could wait, right? Now I'm kind of sounding like a terrible person, but you know, it's the first day of class, but to me, that just makes Mai an even more awesome roommate. We finished setting the room up, switching a few objects here and there in order to better facilitate the feng shui, which Mai told me was excruciatingly important, as we were all taught by Animal Crossing. She especially wanted to make sure our room was filled with reds and pinks and coupled items, though for what purpose I wasn't sure. We collapsed with heavy sighs on the floor, then heaved great big yawns. It's not even the end of the day yet, and I'm so tired. The first day of class will do that to you, and spending the rest of your afternoon arranging the room will do that to you as well. Me too. Wait! She shot up suddenly with a jolt. We should get some ice cream.
Really?
Ice cream? Really?
Yeah!
Something to celebrate being roommates. The ice cream here on campus is genuinely good. I promise.
I don't know.
And I'm paying. Well, if that's the case, you made an offer I can't refuse. Sweet, let's go. I kinda want ice cream now too. What's your guys' favorite ice cream flavor? Have I shared this before? I think I have, but my favorite ice cream flavor I guess will have to be mango. And I'm not just talking about any type of mango flavored ice cream. I'm talking about the Filipino branded Magnolia mango ice cream. That stuff is gold. That stuff is heaven, basically. The school shop was in a side building off the cafeteria, packed with instant noodles and giant bottles of soda. Students wandered the aisles aimlessly, clearly here more to spend more time than money. Mai paid the cashier and we grabbed their ice cream cones, mine the one covered in sprinkles. Whoa, this is delicious!
Yeah!
Isn't it? We're lucky to have such good food on campus. This place would be awful if we didn't. I nodded and was about to respond when I noticed a commotion outside. Ooh, let's see what's going on. Mai grabbed my arm and dragged me outside. She is just a sucker for, what's the word? It's the sucker for, interesting things, I guess. Well, I mean, most of us are intrigued by interesting things. What was I trying to say? What was the word I was looking for there? Their three boys were wearing normal boots jackets, were shouting at each other, each of their faces turning purple. This again?
What?
What are you talking about?
Mamma mia!
I am clearly the one who possesses the proper masculine form. Yeah, right, I'm taller than you, and more attractive to boot. Come on, guys. Can you not see these muscles? Nick pulled back the sleeve of his jacket and flexed his arm. What the heck is going on here? Some kind of manly man competition. And they had to do it outside as well, where everyone could see. Especially people in the cafeteria who would see through the windows and hear all the commotion outside. These guys always go on about weird stuff like this. They're very energetic. Oh yeah? Josh got into the downward facing dog yoga pose and grinned. Look at his butt. Just look at it. What I don't understand is why they don't just ask Jared. Oh yeah? Paul kneeled low to the ground, then took off at a sprint, heading straight for us.
Yeah!
Check this out! He sprang into the air in a graceful ballerina's leap, spinning through the sky, and finally came straight for me? When I opened my eyes, I was sprawled flat on the ground, covered in dirt. Aww. Something cold and wet oozed into the top of my blouse. Hana, are you okay? I sat up. Chunks of ice cream fell from my blouse to my skirt. What happened? You ran into someone, you idiot! My uniform. It's ruined. For a few seconds, silence. Then snickers rippled around me like whining of cicadas. My throat closed up, water stinging my eyes.
No!
Not this again! I stood up, prepared to walk away with dignity when the entirety of the Normal Boots Club suddenly appeared in front of my face.
What's up?
What happened here? Seriously? Tears slid down my face. No, not here. I didn't want to cry in front of them.
Hey.
Hana, are you alright? And suddenly, PPG looks really concerned. He's not scowling at us like before, so that's a plus. I mean, Hana did kind of just get ice cream down her blouse, but I mean, at least PPG's not scowling at us. I'm going home.
Hana.
Wait, Hana. It's fine, I just want to be alone for now. It took all of my will not to run back to the dorm. My goodness, I mean, we were just about to get through the first day of class with no problems. As a matter of fact, things were looking kind of up. We met JonTron. We got to bond with Mai by setting up all of these nice decorations in the room. We even got to know a bit of Shane, even though he kind of, I guess, was pissed off at us, excuse me, at the end of that conversation with him, but things just kind of took a really depressing turn. Depressing is probably a bit too strong of a word for this situation, but you know what I mean. I immediately changed into my pajamas and climbed into bed, reaching for my stuffed rabbit. What am I going to do if this ends up just like last time? Maybe depressing is the right term to use for this situation. Mr. Bunny stared at me with his big, lifeless eyes. I squished him to my chest, losing myself in his soft fur. The door opened with a soft click.
Hana.
Are you okay? I rolled over in bed to face the wall, pretending to be asleep. Mai stood in the center of the room for a while, looking at me. Finally, she sat down at her desk and began to work on something. The sound of her pencil scratching against the paper stilled my mind. I don't know how many hours passed, but eventually, I fell asleep. That's tough. Really, that's tough. Just lying down in bed and waiting for hours until you pass out. That's kind of how I felt when I first transferred to uni, but of course I wasn't in such a depressing situation as Hana is in. I was just having a hard time falling asleep because during winter vacation I would sleep at like 3 or 4. I woke up to my alarm beeping, feeling only dread of the hours to come. After the nightmare that was the ice cream incident yesterday, I never wanted to take another step outside my room. I curled up inside my blankets, and my alarm went off. It was only the second day of school, and I felt the same as I did every morning at home. Mai, of course, was already up, and I could hear her hair straighten or clamp shut every few seconds across the room. I felt bad about letting the alarm go off for so long, so I slid my hand out of the covers to switch it off. Hana, get up! Sleepyhead! I know you're awake! I didn't even have time to poke my head out before Mai's body slammed into the edge of my mattress, bouncing me up. She jumped from almost halfway across the room.
Morning.
Ha! You can't hide from me, Mai. Or you can't hide from Mai. Or was Mai just talking to herself just now? Sorry. I was breathless, and I paused to calm my heart before speaking again. Are you worried about what happened yesterday? No one cares about, no one cares about it, Hana. I almost forgot about it myself. She must have seen my face. She brought an arm around my shoulders and pulled me closer to her. For real though, we're gonna go to class and no one's even gonna mention that you made a huge fool out of yourself yesterday. You could have put that better. Seriously, Mai. You definitely could have put that so much better. But she's kidding. She's kidding. It might have been a big scene, but it totally wasn't your fault. It was Paul, right? Yeah. Seriously, could those guys have not been a little bit more careful? But at the same time, those 3 dudes, like, they kind of remind me of the little group that I have known as the Triple J's, or the 3 J's as they call us. As you guys know, my name is Josiah, or maybe some of you guys didn't know that. And then my brother's name starts with a J, and then the other dude in the group is also named Josh, just like the dude, one of the dudes in that Continue group. So yeah, they kind of remind me of us when we were younger. When you jump, you have to calculate your trajectory, like I did just now. He could learn a lot from a master like me. Get dressed and cheer up. I could bottle up your gloom and sell it to a wizard. And what if he used it for evil? You can't let that happen, Hana. I love people like Mai, who have such vast imaginations, I guess, and can even turn like the worst situations upside down. I really appreciate people like that. Her smile was wide enough to bridge a gap between continents. The beginnings of tears pricked the back of my eyes, but this time they were for a different reason. I opened my closet and tried to avoid looking at the sad lump of clothing inside, slathered with dried up ice cream. I only had 2 uniforms, which cost my dad an entire month's salary. So that gives us some context as to why she was depressed about that whole event. Yeah, being embarrassed is bad enough, but the fact that she only has 2 uniforms and that it cost her dad an entire month's salary, that's pretty rough. If I wasn't able to get the stain out of this uniform, what would I do? Sighing, I took my second uniform off its hanger and slipped it on as Mai waited impatiently for me. Ready to go? I guess so.
Yeah!
Good. Just as Mai said, no one paid any special attention to me. Well, there were a few odd looks here and there, but nothing nearly as bad as what I was expecting. Nothing nearly as bad as the media likes to portray high school. Or maybe this game is the one portraying high school incorrectly. I don't know. You guys be the judge. As the lecture went on, my anxiety for the most part faded. I took to staring out the window to avoid eye contact. A few boys were out in the field playing soccer. Wait, was that PBG? I scooted closer, trying to get a better look. Hana? At the sound of my nickname, I leaped to attention. If there's something more interesting outside than samurai death battles, please feel free to enlighten us. You came here to learn, not to contemplate the scenery. Yes, Miss Shizuka, I'm sorry. She turned back to the chalkboard and continued her lecture as if nothing happened. A few desks in front of me, a guy sitting next to Brutal Moose turned around and gave me a flashy thumbs up. That's Youngtown right there. I made a face at him, unsure of what exactly he expected me to do. Yeah, this, like, I'm imagining this, and it's kind of weird. Like, Youngtown is just across the room, kind of giving a derpy thumbs up at Hana, and you don't even know why he's giving a thumbs up at Hana. Then Ia turned around and socked him on the head. The other guy mumbled something to him, probably apologizing. Ian's eyes slid to me for a brief instant. Then he looked away. Were they looking at me because of what happened yesterday? Or was there some other reason? I shook my head. There wasn't time for this. I had work to do if I wanted to keep my scholarship. Oh, so Hana's a scholar. Very cool, Hana. Good to see that you are working very hard to keep those grades up. After pages and pages of notes on Japanese history, it was nearly time for lunch. It doesn't look like it's time for lunch outside. It kind of looks like it's almost nighttime, actually. Like the day is about to end. Yeah, that's pretty exciting when the day is about to end. I mean, who doesn't like 3 p.m.? The day when you get out, unless you have extracurriculars, of course. Okay, everyone is almost free to go. The work tonight isn't so hard, so don't grumble. You should work together to complete it if you have a hard time. Also, as you may be aware, the Flower Festival is coming up in a week and a half. This news was met with a few cheers as everyone started to pack up. Since you have the day of the Flower Festival off, our first exam will be the day before. There were no cheers this time. Romance is wonderful, believe me. I know, but try not to let the Flower Festival distract you, okay? That is all. See you tomorrow. Miss Shizuka flashed a peace sign and winked as she walked out the door. What a weird teacher. I don't know about that. Like, yeah, okay. Maybe I agree that she's weird, but these kind of teachers are the fun ones usually. Usually. That lecture was so boring. Mai walked beside me, a tray in her hands. We were shuffling through the cafeteria, trying to find a seat. Didn't you say that yesterday? Probably, but it's true for today too. Please help me. I'm gonna die of boredom. We have an assignment to keep us busy, Mai.
What?
We already have work to do? How did you not hear that? Mai sighed dramatically, then leaned to the side and rested her head in the crook of my neck. I reached out to pat her head a few times, but she straightened before I could do it. Like sisters already, the second day of school and they're like sisters already. Oh gosh, Hana, Paul's walking over here. He's looking at you. Does he look angry at you? Why is he coming over? Do you think he's going to kick you again? Oh man, Paul is coming over. What do you think he's gonna do, guys? But I think that this is a good stopping point for today's episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Asagao Academy. And if you did, hey, be sure to hit that like button. And if you'd like to see more from me here on ShdwjGaming, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. Okay, guys, we are going to see what happens when Paul approaches these two. But we will see that in the next episode. So once again, thank you. I will see you guys later. But until then, you guys take care.